You're on.
Yeah, hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Dallas U.S. Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Today, we're doing our deep dive session with Michelle Nolting. We're honored to have her here from South Africa, so thank you for joining us. Today's session is a continuation of last Friday, where we talked about the importance of promotional planning. We're heading into our holiday season with Thanksgiving around the corner, of course, followed by Black Friday, the biggest shopping day of the year, followed by Small Business Saturday, followed by Cyber Monday. So we really want to make sure that everyone has their promotional calendar and objectives well established. And today she's going to walk us through a deep dive workshop as to how to properly plan your promotional calendar, promotional events, and make the most of this selling season and for the rest of the year for that matter. So Michelle, thank you so much. And please feel free to start the session.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. I really appreciate it. And thanks for having me again, you guys. It was really lovely to hear some of the feedback from last week, and and it was great actually. Made me feel really, really welcome and super honored to be spending time with you guys. So I'm gonna kick right off and I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know if you can't see or if it's too small or something like that, but I think it should be okay. I just want to hit into a little bit of an introduction and a reminder from last week. And yeah, if you guys, I have got spots for questions. If there is something, let's deal with it then and there instead of waiting to the end, because it does then kind of get that brain flowing, get you feeling comfortable. And then, like this is an interactive space. That's how I prefer to coach and work with people, but I'll also rope it in if it gets a bit like too broad. Yeah. Okay, so this is section 2 today, and the objectives that we're going to cover today is specifically the structure to create an exceptional sales promotion. So this is a structure that you can use regardless of whether you're doing something for Black Friday, whether you do something for Thanksgiving, whether you're doing something just for something, but generally it's planned. And it's the catch to a promotional plan is that you actually have a specific plan with a specific goal, and the goals are related to your financial goals, your developmental goals, and your learning goals. And then it actually focuses in who's your customer, what is their problem, what's the solution you're offering, what is your compelling offer, and how the implementation and everything from there goes. So that's what I'm going to be covering today. So it's the full structure of how to get this right. And then we're going to go over, because I think I gave you the exercise last time about how to set up your goals, but I'm going to go into a bit more detail so it maybe makes more sense, and you can break it down a bit, and it might be helpful, in that sense. All right, so this was just a reminder from last time to set up 3 goals for your financial, your developmental, and your learning. And those of you that are here, I hope you did something, which is good. So maybe drop into the chat, say like what your 1 financial goal is, what 1 developmental goal is, and 1 learning goal. And if you have questions around that, we can raise it as I go through those sections. And one of the things, guys, is when we set up a promotional plan, we start with this section, because this ensures that we're always either earning or learning, or both. And your sweet spot is actually when you're doing both, because sometimes you do stuff that you learn and then you don't earn anything, and then you go, oh, what should I do? And then you've got to try to figure it out. But the nice part about a promotion plan is that you have that moment in time where you can switch, change, work it, and do something new. If I'm talking too fast, do let me know, because I am a creator, or dynamo energy, so I sometimes rattle off, but I'm roping it in, and I am on holiday, so I kind of get a bit excited because I'm not actually normally working, right? So it's like, oh, I get to talk about what I'm passionate about. All right, so where you start, remember the key part is to define your why and your what beforehand. So again, go back into that why you're doing what you're doing. What is the point of what you're doing? What is that's driving you? What is your why, right? And we'll talk about the who, the when, and the how today. We'll go through that process a little bit. Any questions so far before we move into the next slides?
No,
Yeah?
I would just say, Michelle, that they don't know any of the different profiles. So I don't know if you want to take like a minute and then touch on.
Yeah, I'll do it a bit later.
Yeah.
I've got a little section for it when we
Okay.
talk about team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that's better. And then, you know, then it relates in a bit better to your promotional plan and you can understand where it's coming from. Yeah. Okay, fabulous. Cool. So your goals, and this is again, it's a friendly reminder to set these and use the right resources. Then by using the right resources, you have the right time to solve the customer's most urgent problems. So this was just a summary from last week. And I'm going to just hit the next slide, which tips for goal setting. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but when you set up your goals, I think you might have seen it before, SMART goals. And there's many different things to set up goals, and you can Google on the internet and you can come along with certain things. But the things about goal setting is it's got to be specific. It's got to be measurable. It's got to be, in this particular example, assignable, right? Like, how do I actually attach it to something? It's got to be relevant or realistic, and it's got to be time-based. The easiest example I can give you about a goal setting is, you know, I don't know, there's some guys on the calls, there's more guys than ladies, I think. Oh, no, maybe not. But anyway, so when your wife says, hey, I want to lose weight, yeah? Or your girlfriend, and all right, and what do you want to do? It's got to be specific. I want to lose 5 kilos. You guys don't work in kilograms, right? You work in pounds. I don't know what you're working. Anyway, kilograms is what we work in. Sorry about that. So I want to use 5 kilograms over 2 months, right? So I'm very specific. Yes, I can measure it because I can jump on that ruddy scale and it can tell me what's happening. Yeah. Assignable, yes, because I can actually write things down. I can assign it to things. I can make sure it's working. Is it realistic? 5 kilos in 2 months? Probably, because if you do any research, about 1 kilo a week is on average what you should be. So you could, over 2 months, lose 5 kilos. And time-based, 2 months. So everything you're doing when you're setting goals needs to have this kind of a frame around it. And that's why I say, you know, when you want to lose weight or you want to get to the gym and you want to get fit, those are the easiest goals to kind of set some kind of thing up because it's easy to measure. So if you remember what your promotion plan is around, is if you create something that's easy to measure, then you will get good results. And the way that we generally measure what's happening with your promotion plan is through your financials. Yeah, because the promotion plan is there specifically to help you create predictable revenue so that you have something that continues. So after the 3-month period, you can run the same thing again in your business, and it's a process. It doesn't matter whether the holiday is, like I said, Thanksgiving or Black Friday or any one of these. You can apply the same process over and over again. And that's the beauty about it. So the first time you do it, it's a promotion plan. The second time you do it, it's a process in your business. And then you can have different teams running it, different people responsible, certain things like that. But the things that you measure is specifically around your financials and then your growth in your community and your customers and things like that. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Fabulous. Christy, if you can keep an eye on the chat, if there is something drastic that I need to answer, you can just let me know.
Okay.
All right. So this is the exciting part. Let's start with the financials, right? How much money do you want to make per month? And how much money is that over 3 months? I know this sounds simplistic, but sometimes this is the best way to start. Right. So who's got a number for me?
30,000 per quarter, 10,000 per month.
Amazing. Okay. Anyone else want to throw a number out there and be brave?
Yes, 396,000 a month would be my goal if I wanted to achieve that 10% year-over-year growth for the year.
All right. So that over a quarter is close to $1 million.
Times 3. That's 1,188,000.
There you go. So guys, the reason I'm being specific and I'm saying write those numbers down, they need to actually be month 1, write the number, month 2, month 3, total, yeah? Because it could be what you're doing is that you might do something in month 1 that generates $15,000 or $450,000. Does that make sense? So you want to be tracking it exactly month by month, quarter by quarter. And then you can also check your revenue goals. You can check what works. You can check what doesn't work. Does anybody else want to put a number on the table so you're accountable to your teammates?
Christine said $5,000 per month.
Great, Christine, that's a good number to start with. You know, so this is a specific process that you want to implement in your business. It's not necessarily your entire revenue, it's a specific process. Yeah? Okay, so I know, guys, this is simplistic, but the reason I did it so simplistically is because some people do struggle with this, and this is a recording, and this might help you because in the future it might get difficult. So let's assume each product or item or whatever you have costs the customer $10. How many products or items will I need to sell in 1 month if I want to make $1,000? Now, I know this is a small number because, like I said, it's just hypothetical example, right? So in this particular case, you can see I've put the maths down for you guys because it's pretty much I need to sell 100 items if I want to make $1,000. Now, one catch here is, guys, it's just as easy, or let's say it's just as difficult, or it's just as it is what it is, to be selling a product or an item that's worth $1,000 or an item that's worth $10. The process is the same, right? So if you're going to spend a lot of time selling low price products, you need to have a team, you need to have volume, you need to have that kind of stuff. A lot of businesses are more small to medium size. You can work on a nice price product, which is between $14.95 to $2.50 to $6.50. It takes the same amount of effort, right? Like Jonathan will know, if you have a restaurant, it's the same amount to sell 1 cappuccino for $25 versus a meal for $200. It's the same effort. Sometimes it's more effort to sell the cappuccino because the guy complains because the milk and the sugar doesn't work or something, right? So keep that in mind when you're working on your numbers. But if you break it down into a table like this, it keeps it quite simple. Yeah? Any questions?
No, that was very simple.
It is very simple. The reason I make it so simple, Christy, is also because, you know, sometimes there's a few of us that we have blocks according to our financials. We get blocks. We actually get blocks around it. I don't know if you remember one of the ladies on one of our courses. She actually had a block to track how much revenue she was bringing in every single week, whether it was $10 or $50 or $200 or $3,000 or $50 million. She had this block to actually track it. So guys, the reason I make it so simple is because it's actually supposed to be fun. Yeah. So what we do is, in this case, it's also about taking these 4 weeks in a month and how many products or items do I need to sell in a week, right? So Jonathan, for example, can I round your number up to 400,000, please?
Sure. Yeah.
Because my maths isn't that great. So if I have, right, I need to do 400,000 in a month. Basically, I need to do 100,000 a week. Does it make sense? So the 400,000 becomes a little bit more manageable, right? Like Christy, if you take the 10,000, right, and you break that down, it's 2,500 a week. So break it into more manageable chunks. Yes, you might smash the target out in week 1 and week 2 and week 3 not, you know, but at least when you take that number, it doesn't seem so big, especially if you do have any blocks associated with financials or money or stuff like that. Does that make sense?
It greatly helps over the course of a month too, like for our business, for planning for next month, because if I know that I'm on track and that I'm, you know, week 1 and week 2 maybe weren't as great, but week 2 and 3 and 4 picked up, or maybe I run specials that pick up the slack for my loss. You know, you can kind of measure your progress, and this really helps.
Correct.
This model. Yeah.
Definitely, because like in your industry, for example, if it's month end, right, you might have a peak, whereas you might have a dip in the middle of the month. And especially in times like this, you'll see sometimes it's actually no predictability at all. And then some months you'll have like a mass in the first 2 weeks, and then at the end of the month, there'll be nothing. So
That's right.
This does help you keep that balance, and it helps you keep those targets, which is quite nice. Yeah. So if I take a look at the number of products, or let's say if I'm doing a course, so Christy, how many people do I need to put into my course, for example? right? Whatever it might be, same thing. How many products or items do I need to sell in a day if there are 5 days in a week? Yeah. So it just breaks it into smaller numbers. So do this and have your targets up there. So your team should know what the targets are. Like, I find it's much easier to have stuff in a visual format than it is to just have it in your head. And that's super important. So one thing I said to Christy is have your vision board out here and actually break it down. And when you meet it, celebrate it. It's important for the celebration. The team needs to know, you need to know, because otherwise, what are you doing this for?
Right.
Where's the plus to it, you know? Right? So this is a very simplistic example, yeah? But basically, if at any point in time you have a product or you have something, it's the same if I'm selling screwdrivers or if I'm selling nut bolts or if I'm selling car tires. It doesn't matter what it is, right? There's a target and it breaks down per day, per week. So for example, Jonathan, you're probably running 6-7 days a week, right? So then your 100,000 would be split over 7 days, for example. So now you know what you need to do per day. Yeah?
Yep.
Everybody written that down. Everybody got it in a book. Everyone happy with your numbers.
Yes.
And remember to set realistic ones, hey? Don't set them too high. And one thing I'm going to say is possibly don't set them too low. Because like I said, it's easy to say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to earn that, or I'm going to like whatever, you know, and it costs you the same amount to charge for a course, $2,000 versus $7,000. It's the same thing. So be quite clear on what it is that why am I doing what I'm doing? And if I'm going to do this, what are my goals that I'm actually going to be having for this particular promotion? Cool. Any questions, guys?
No, breaking it down that way makes it really nice and simple. So if you wanted to add, like I said, if you wanted to bring in a certain amount more revenue each month, you can kind of think in a project base, break it down, you can do that. And that's what I get with this promotional, right? And then you add that in. And then the next month, if you added a new promotional on top of the old one, right now you can add another 5, whatever it is that your goal is, and just keep building. And it makes it so it's in smaller chunks and not quite so overwhelming. Thank you, Michelle.
Pleasure, Christine. So, guys, remember, this is a really good point. And if you're doing your whole revenue for your business, right, you may have different projects that are running. So you may have, like, for example, Jonathan, you may be doing half price Mondays, kids free on Tuesdays. I don't know. You might be doing a whole bunch of things like that, right? Or pizza Thursday, or sorry, I don't know enough about the food that you sell, but you get conceptually what I'm talking about. Hey, pizza it is.
Taco Tuesday.
You did tell me. I'm so sorry. Taco Tuesday, Mexican. I remember. Sorry.
It's okay.
So the point is that like restaurants come up with all these different things. The same thing in your business, right? You'll have multiple different specials or products. Remember, a promotion plan is for a specific product or a specific range of something that you're doing. Because your financial goals for everything in your business, you should follow the same process that I've just done with you, right? Of what do I want to earn fully. But when I'm doing a promotion, so Christine, for example, let's say hypothetically, I coach individual coaching and I do group coaching, right? In the group coaching space, I want to increase my numbers. So I'm going to do a specific promotion plan around my group coaching. And I'm then going to, in that space, exactly say, fine, I'm going to run a 12-week program. I want to fill it up. I want to have 12 people on my program. They each must pay $3,500. This is not the only thing that I do. This is one component. And the reason I'm working on one thing is because, guys, you can work on more than one, but then you need to have a team. You need to have a big team that works on the projects with it, over the time. Because if you work on like 3 or 4 different projects, you never focused on one of them. You never get to the end of you never come to a point, because you're always jumping there, then you're jumping there, then you're jumping there, then you're back over there, and nothing is focused and working properly. So if you're focusing on one thing for the quarter, you can create predictable revenue. And that's the goal here. Yeah. So keep that in mind. So you can have your definite big goals for your business, but then also break it down into the small stuff. Yeah, cool. Any questions for this? Nope. Okay, sweet. All right, I'm going to shoot through these really fast because these are not too technical, and it's things that you guys can do quite easily if you just put a bit of thought behind it. So the same thing, I only set 3 learning goals in the quarter. Like 3 learning goals, not 20, not 50, not 1, but 3. Just 3, 1 a month. So what do I want to learn? A learning goal is something that you'd like to learn to make an improvement or a difference in your business. You're learning, yeah? So I want to learn, for example, how to create the most effective marketing strategy for my business. I want to learn how to build trust with my communities, or I want to learn to engage my communities more. I want to develop a web store UX. I want to optimize data to get specific results. I want to learn, how do I do that? Yeah, what do I need to set up? How do I actually gain that knowledge? So this is something that, guys, I don't want 50. I just want 3. Just 3. And please don't tell me that you need to learn more. Yes, you do, but you're not going to manage. Keep it 3. Even we've got tons of teams, right? Everybody always only has 3 learning goals for the quarter. Yeah? Cool. Anybody got a question over here? Nothing?
No.
All right. Developmental goals. Now, this is a progress goal, right? What progress do I want to make? So this is something, it's in your business. It's not you. It's more your progress of what I want to do by the end of the quarter. So, for example, I want to build a dashboard, which tells me how many followers, community, prospects, customers I have. So that every time, now, if I build a dashboard in this quarter, right, and I have all the right things pulling through, that can be duplicated. So I've learned that. That's ticked off. I don't have to do the same thing again. Yeah. So a dashboard is something where we specifically capture how many customers we've got, what the sale is, what is the sale per call, how many sales, how many followers, how many customers. It's all put together on a dashboard. So this is very helpful because if you don't measure something, it's not important to you. So measurements are quite important. So another example is develop pathway for products or services. How do I do that in my business, right? How do I get that right? How do I develop a customer journey or a sales journey? What kind of IT or systems development do I need to do? These are the kind of developmental goals that you'll be putting into place. Yeah? All right. Anything anybody wants to ask quickly before we move on? Because I know we are halfway through time-wise. Nothing. All right.
That's
well,
good.
I'll leave my beautiful question mark and I'll move to the next thing. Okay. So this is important because the promotion plan will help you create the certainty. So I just want to mention something. A lot of people say, you know, like, they'll often come and they'll say, you know, like, Michelle, like, I need more clarity. I need to understand more so I can do more. This is coming into this play of certainty and stuff. You know, you need to have commitment first. Commitment is the first point of everything. If you're not committed, you cannot get clarity and you definitely can't get certainty. You've got to be committed. You've got to jump all the way in first before you see how it happens. You can't kind of tether on the edge and say, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, maybe this way, maybe this way. Imagine you are bungee jumping, right? And you're kind of standing on that thing and you're doing this. Like, should I go? Shouldn't I go? Should I go? Shouldn't I go? You got to dive in and do it. You've got to do it. If you're going to do it. Otherwise, don't do it. Like, Christy, you're jumping out of a plane. You've got to jump out the plane. They don't let you half jump out of a plane. Yeah? So, guys, commitment is your first step. Be committed to what you're doing. And this comes from your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Be committed. Jump in, all 4 feet, tail, hair, everything. Jump in. Do it. Yeah? Once you've got this, you'll get your clarity and you'll get your certainty. And the promo plan comes from the certainty because you're tracking it and you're actually putting your numbers in place and you're saying, fine, I need to earn 100,000 a week. How am I going to do this? This is what the things I have to do. This is what is going to happen. Tick, tick, tick. Yeah? And that's then how I track my results, and I track it and I get my numbers from there. So this is a nice little quote. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life.
I like that.
Right. Amazing. I also like it. That's why I put it there. I thought it was quite good. All right. So in a nutshell, the first steps is finalizing your financials, your developmental, and your learning. 3. That's it. 3 goals on all of those. Yeah. So your financials, you would break down by saying my monthly, my weekly, my daily. Yeah. You can also have a goal around community if you need to. You know, I want to get 50 new customers through my door every week, or I want to get, 20 new followers, or 150 or 7,000, whatever your number is. You can also add that into your tracking, because that is a separate component and it will help you to keep your numbers in order. Now we're getting to the meat of this thing. So in my promotional plan, now it comes down to who is my customer, right? So jot into the chat, who is your customer? Be as specific as possible. Yeah, and don't write the paragraph like this. 1 sentence. Who's your customer? Go. You have a minute. Boom. Okay, Lisa, military community. Let's start with you, right? So talk to me about the military community. Are you able to chat?
Yeah. So I own combat boots jewelry, and the combat boots are special to the people who wear them and the surrounding community that support them.
Okay, so because it's a specific product, it's boots, so it would cover everybody in the military community. It's not like only men or women, or do you do boots for both?
Primarily focused on females.
Okay, fabulous. Now, do you see what we're doing with this? We're going and we're now diving into your actual, avatar, your customer, because initially you just said military community. Yes. Now that's quite broad. So the more specific we can be, right? So female military community between the ages of, I don't know what your ages are, but maybe everybody who's 18 comes into the military. I don't know. Maybe it's only ladies that are 25 plus, I don't know, right? But put that in the area, right? Which is the area? So you say, I don't know your area. So this is why it's super important, because Lisa, when you say, I specialize in the military area of, let's say, the US, or I Africa, or wherever it might be, the more specific you get, the easier it is with the universe telling them, because when you are broad, you don't necessarily get what you want. So the narrower you make it, the easier it is to tell everybody, tell the universe, tell yourself, tell your advertising that you're targeting this. So imagine if I have an advert, okay, and it's broad, just says boots for military people, yeah? It's so broad that I don't know, I can't track, I don't know who to target, that kind of stuff. Does that make sense to you?
No, I mean, the target's on and they're responding, and it is the whole US because the military covers the whole US, but it is the military community.
Okay, so would you ever consider going global, for example? Because there's a military community not only in the US. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, once I get all the manufacturing and everything's, stabilized.
Sure, there's other things. Remember, that's your
there's
house.
many variables a part of it. And
okay, so if I were to say it's the military community, it's females in the military community, yeah? It does cover all ages of females who are in the military community, and we're specifically targeting the military bases of, so maybe at the moment you're not targeting the whole US, and maybe it's only certain regions, or maybe it is the entire US. Maybe it's Canada, maybe it's, I don't know. But just when you put your paragraph together, make it more specific. Make sense?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because
Yes.
I think, honestly, I think you could probably target females pretty much globally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why, like for this promo, I'm only going to focus on the US because I want to get consistent revenue going. Because once I've got this process working in the US, I can duplicate it somewhere else. And that's why we get specific, right? So Jonathan, you said 18 plus.
Yeah, I would say like community-wise,
18 plus.
we have a target demographic, right? So I measure this too through all of our analytics tracking and through our credit card receipts. Our credit card processors have data of, they don't give us this credit card holder is this age, but they give us the broad range of demographics because they have all their information. And so out of that, we have a really good scope of who our clientele is by people that are using credit cards. And
okay, so where do they live? So you've just got that. So you said city of Allen and surrounding, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, for dining, Allen has a couple things going for it that not a lot of cities do. It has a lot of things that pull people into it, especially around the holidays, because we have an outlet mall. And an outlet mall brings in a lot of foot traffic from many, many surrounding cities. But
okay.
our normal year over year, you know, customer is very local. We get a lot of repeat business. We get a lot of customers who live in the surrounding areas like McKinney or Plano. But outside of that, we don't see a whole lot of people from other cities, you know, dining with us day in and day out. But
okay, so it's quite narrow, right? It's quite a narrow base at the moment. So if I was to say I want to increase my because this is a promo to get more customers through my door, right? So I'm going to target customers from the ages of 18 to 65, for example. I'm going to target possibly I'm going to target small families, parents with kids, or I'm going to target husband and wife. Do you see there's a difference in a restaurant? There's definitely a difference of who walks through your door. Is it families? Is it husband and wife? Yes, you want everyone. So guys, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that all these people, they aren't your clients. But when you come in and you say, fine, I'm going to do a specific promotion plan around families. Yes, husband, wife, 1 to 5 to 10 kids, whatever, right? With that, I'm going to target my advertising around that, which means that if I have a family who generally has children between the ages of 6 and 15, for example, yeah? Mm-hmm. They're a little bit older. They're maybe not 2 because you don't want screaming kids in your restaurant, right? Hypothetically, maybe you do. Yeah. But do you see how specific I'm getting with this? Yep. I'm going, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. The more specific you are, the easier it is to run your promotion around this. I'm spending a bit of time here because this is super important. The clearer you go, the easier your advertising. So yes, Jonathan, you can check your credit card receipts. You can check all of those things. But I want you to narrow it. I want you to actually do a promotion that says, fine, I'm going to target families. They're going to be between the ages of 28 and 45, because that's who's got kids that come in between the ages of 6 and 15. Yep. Right? Because then everything fits around that you're creating.
And to your point, kids influence a lot of decision making. You know, we get done with work a lot of the times. I have twins, 5-year-olds, and a lot of the times, you know, we're like, we have a plan at the beginning of the day. We're going to come home, we're going to cook dinner, and at the end of the day at 6 o'clock, all that emotion has fleeted, and we're exhausted, and our kids are hungry, and we say, well, let's just go out to eat.
So exactly what I'm saying. The more specific you are, stop with the little bit. So Christine and Vincent, I'm going to jump this conversation also, because solo entrepreneurs, small business owners, that's very, like, you're telling me everybody's your customer. Not everybody's your customer. Guys, not everyone is your customer. Firstly, if I'm going to say entrepreneurs, am I working with females or men? You know, are they between this age and this age? Where do they live? Where do they shop? Where do they buy things? What cars do they drive? All of these things about your customers. What is their revenue stream? Now, this is something that's important, right? If somebody's got no money, why do I want them as one of my customers? Because they're not going to pay me. Yes?
Yep.
No? Mm-hmm. Right? So when we're doing this, we need to say, I'm looking for customers. So if I go back to my group coaching, right? I'm looking for customers who are generating between between $8,000 and $15,000 a month, right? They're specifically women between the ages of 35 and 50, possibly higher, but that's my spec, and X, whatever. Their business is, for example, in digital pivoted online businesses. Now, I'm getting more specific. It's not exactly, but you get where I'm going with this. The more specific you are, guys, the better the energy out there. Whatever your belief system is, you've got to put what you want. You've got to ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get, categorically. So you've got to ask for what you want. Yes.
Okay.
Vincent, you had a question?
Don't you believe that especially up here, well, in New York, once you start segmenting them into those small categories, don't you believe that you're limiting yourself to a certain scope?
It's a great question. But remember, a promotion plan is only for 3 months. It's not for your whole life.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
It's just it's just a period. It's just for this period, so I can get a process for this band of customers, so I can duplicate that month on month and month on month, and create certainty in the income for that band. As soon as I've mastered that band, I can move to the next band. I can come up with a new one. I can do something different. I'm not limiting you.
What would you think about
everyone.
revisiting that band? Say in the next.
I could.
Okay.
You could. You know, you might, sorry, I just want to add this in. You might want to tweak your product. Remember, if it's working and it's duplicating by itself, then that's evergreen. You don't have to worry about it. Then come up with a new product, come up with a new something. It may be the same target market, but it may be part of their customer journey of the next step that they purchase from you, or the next step.
And Michelle, what I also want to add too is the reason why you want to narrow your target is because you can also target your promotional language and promotional efforts more precisely. Because if you say everyone's my customer, there's no way to market and target that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You know, for me, for example, I want to focus on members in my cycling studio. And that's someone who's going to be riding frequently, someone who's focused on, you know, riding either 4, 8, or unlimited amount of time. Someone who's going to visiting to drop in and ride now and then is not my target. So I'm going to say, want to be a member, want to achieve certain goals, be a member.
Somebody who's going and cycling so many, you know, hours a week. This is what they do. They enter competitions. They do this. Guys, the more specific you are, the easier it is, exactly as Ivan says, to market to these people. Because now we move to the next thing and we actually start talking about what is their problem, right? This leads me straight into this, right? What is that client's problem? Not your problem, not your problem, not what is you. You know, there's this beautiful dog looking at me. Domingo, it's a beautiful dog listening to me. It's the first time I've ever had a dog listening. It's very cool. I hope you guys could see, but anyway. So the point about it is it's not what your problem is. Your problem is maybe I want to generate revenue. I need more customers, whatever. What is your customer's problem? So Jonathan, when we were talking about it, young parents, they've got young kids, they're exhausted at the end of the day. Their problem is they need to go to a place where they can have a proper meal, have a glass of wine, let their children play, and actually get 5 minutes of peace.
Yep.
And put food in their faces and maybe go to the bathroom without being irritated. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see where I'm going with this? The more specific you are about this problem, the easier it is. All right. This is then, yeah.
I was just going to add one point to kind of earlier, but also to this point, like a lot of the times we at the restaurant business, but also many businesses do this. We do things in anticipation of certain timely events, right? So like February is everybody goes out for Valentine's Day, right? So like we do promotionals targeting couples all month of January in anticipation for the problem of trying to get diners in because everyone else is fighting for them too.
Okay, but that's your problem. That's not
right.
the customer's problem.
That's true.
Just saying.
Yep.
So
No,
the
you're
reason I'm differentiating it because, guys, when you solve your customer's problem, they will pay you.
It's true.
If you're not solving their problem, they're not going to pay you.
That's a great point.
That is true. And I think that Jonathan and I were putting proposals earlier together, and I told them exactly what the problem was for this one particular problem client. And then we sat there and we put everything together to solve the problem. And then we presented the proposal and they were like, okay, can you send us the invoice? And I was like,
Exactly.
okay.
That's exactly the point. Because when they see that you're solving their problem and there's value in them seeing that you're going to give them value in solving this problem, right? They're going to part with their money.
Yep.
So if Ivan has got bicycles that are square wheels and the people can't win races with them, they're not going to come and buy the bikes from him. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing, you guys. It's Christy, you know, if somebody doesn't have, excuse me, a problem of digitization or websites or something like that, they're not going to pay you for that. They're not going to pay you. You've got to find the problem. You've got to find that target market with their specific problem. So exactly as I said to you, Jonathan, with the families, that's their problem.
Yep.
Whether you're targeting couples or not, excuse me, it's actually irrelevant. Yeah,
Right.
Completely irrelevant. So keep that in mind. Okay, so for example, let's talk about the shoes. Is Lisa still here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the problem? Why will someone buy the shoes? Is it the military you're targeting? Are they buying the shoes from you, or are the individuals buying the shoes?
It's boots. It's like the military pin boots and earrings.
Okay, sorry.
It's a pendant. It's a combat boot pendant, like combat boots, but it's a pendant. And so,
okay.
you know, and I do have my different target area. So if I'm talking to like active duty, it's more like females, then it would be, you know, you proudly wore the boots too. And it's a representation piece. If it's a family member, then it's a stylish symbol of shared experiences, because we all experience something in the military. If I'm talking more to just the male service members, then it would be bonded by boots. So there is the different targeting for them.
Okay.
Does
So
that make
what is the so what is the customer's problem? Why are they going to give you money?
Oh, it's different from each one, but it's
okay, so let's talk about the woman's side. Why are they going to give you them? Yeah, because we're now focusing on one avatar, right? So why maybe because I don't know, but maybe explain to me, because this will help. You know, why are they going to come to you and say, hey, I want to buy?
Because they have pride in that they earn those boots, and it's a representation.
Okay.
I don't know, Christy, why do you like it?
Well, it's two things. The reason why I think that you're not selling more is because you probably don't have the right marketing, or you're not targeting correctly. And the other thing is that you are in the wrong platform, which I think you're using either Wix or Weebly. I don't remember. And so that's the one thing. And then why would you buy the boots? It's pride, it's honor, it's service. So I bought mine. Well, actually, I didn't buy it. Lisa gifted it to me. And I love wearing my earrings and my necklace, and I just get a pin. So once you get it, you fall in love with it and you want to use it. You want to put it on.
It's that initial spot, right? It's that initial, that's what I need you guys to think about. That initial thing. What is going to get the customer to say, hey, I want to get this. I want this because this is going to solve something in me that I need.
I think it's a story. Yeah,
it's a story, right?
Story.
There's history behind it. That's what I was trying to get at. So it's about targeting the story, and it's about targeting, you know, that whole emotional thing around it. Yeah, that's actually why somebody will come and buy. It's not for any other reason.
It's hard to establish like because I'm even thinking about it as a business owner, but it's hard to establish that for like fashion, you know. I don't know, maybe
not necessarily, right? There's lots of ways to do it. You've just got to actually figure out what it is. And the nice catch point that you've got here with Lisa's stuff, is that it's actually specifically, there is the pride and there is service and there's history and there's a story behind it. And it's about that passion for your country, and it's about that loyalty. It's about that. That's what it's about. That's why you go and buy the thing. It's not because of any other thing. We don't have that here because no one will buy anything for whatever, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So there's that emotion behind it.
Right. And so when I do a one-liner, I guess I pretty much came up with, we served our country, we served our branch, but we earned our boots.
I love it.
And when you say that, when you say I earn my boots, they get it because they know the person that wore those boots knows what it took to get them. And so then you earn those boots,
Exactly.
Hey, Domingo made a cool point in the chat about, sometimes it's female service members who are maybe trying to make a point. Like their problem is that, everyone always thinks, oh, well, in the military, it's just men.
The guy.
And
that's why I came up with it, because I owned a construction business and I was walking around on a job site doing measurements, and I just got tired of watching all the guys wear t-shirts and lanyards and hats. And as a professional, I could not wear that stuff. And the only thing out there for a female veteran was a t-shirt that said, I'm a woman veteran, I'll kick your ass. And I don't wear that stuff,
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. So guys, this is the point, and it's that passion and whatever it might be that actually says that I see the value in this. I'm going to give you my money because you're solving something that I need solved, or what my problem is. So it may be, those things. Just keep that in mind when you're working on this. I am going to move on because we are running on time, and I think Christy's going to, say to me, Mish.
You can always go over a little bit.
Actually,
so it's
okay. All right. So the additional things here is, this is what I put together also. So once you have who's my customer and what's their problem, what is the solution I'm offering them, right? The solution that's going to make them see that there's value in this, will make them to purchase it, so that they go, oh, wow, this is the solution to my problem. So one thing I can just say to you guys here is try to keep a positive frame on things. In the coaching space, for example, a lot of the guys go, well, are you depressed? Do you need help? Do whatever. Try to frame it differently and always come from a positive space. So exactly, talk about the passion and the emotion behind it. And that's then where that positive passion and emotion. Yes, sometimes you are solving a problem that is a negative thing, right? But you don't want to use that in your advertising campaigns. You don't want to be saying, I'm the coach that's going to fix your mental instability, for example. You know what I mean? You want to create a positive statement around that. So think about this and what your solution may be for your customer, and then put that together too. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I'm going to jump to this. What is your compelling offer? So hypothetically, Ivan, what is the difference between your, let's say, your offering, right, versus, let's say, a sports store or somebody else, right? What makes your offer more compelling than somebody else's? What are you giving your customer that they go, because I'm just going to add this in, customers are very, very demanding nowadays, super demanding. They just almost want, and they take your hand and your foot and your back and your bag and everything else that's coming with, right? So they go and they vary because of the way the world goes with the internet, stuff like that. They're very aware, and they're very aware of what shop A does or restaurant A does or this business does. They're very aware, and they're very aware of the differentials between your businesses. They're probably more aware than you are sometimes. No offense, but you know what I'm saying, because customers of these day and age are actually quite demanding. And if you've ever been in any customer service area, you would know this. So what is going to make you different, and your offering or your store or your entirety, what is different to somebody else? And it's good when you're different and nobody else does it. That's super. Then you've got a different challenge you've got to try and fix. But if you're doing something that somebody else is already doing, what is making you different? And what are you adding in for your customers? So Ivan, what is yours?
Irving, you're muted.
Oh,
I think that's the most common sentence ever nowadays.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on the time of year. Like right now, again, we're going into Black Friday, so I'm gonna have probably my biggest sale of the year. So it's discounting, but that's always like the last thing you want to do, right? Because you never want to just reduce price as a reason. But one of the key things that we're competing with is Peloton, which is in-home cycling. So we're promoting our community, our sense of community and support as part of our environment. Because we're an indoor cycling studio, we're a workout that you come to the studio for. And we want to talk about the power of community and how having a support group to keep you coming, to keep you accountable, and to make it more fun is the real value.
Okay. Awesome. So what you could also do is you could give them the first session free, right?
Yeah.
Or you could do something that once they've attended 10 sessions, they get 2 sessions bonus, right?
Yeah.
That's what a compelling offer is. It's like if you do something, you're also going to get the following. So let's say I'm talking about coaching, for example, right? This is just a thing. If you have the coaching, you're going to get a free download. You're going to get access to my free Facebook community. You're going to get a regular live feed where you'll have a question and answer session. You're going to have regular webinars, blah, blah. So you guys can use the couple of things, right? Restaurants, what am I going to get that's different? You know, it's difficult in a restaurant, but for example, children under the age of 8 can come in and eat as much as you like for free. Maybe that's not the right concept that you want to create, but it's possibly something you want to do. And it's only on Wednesdays. Or kids that bring a toy for a charity on Fridays get a meal for free. Or Christy, you know, get $1,000 off my next program. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Could it be tied in to what what the whole premise of your business? So, for example, Lisa's business is, if you think about it, it's essentially respect and recognition. That's her whole business for trying to get these women veterans to buy this, because they're looking for that recognition that they were a veteran. They're looking for that respect that they were in uniform. You know, you could offer even something if it's an online thing. You could even offer something like the Wall of Women Veterans or the Wall of Women Warriors. You know, and so everyone that
it's about a community, maybe, you know, Domingo.
Exactly.
So it's maybe about saying you're going to become part of this community.
That's been suggested, and I guess just the way I'm taking the jewelry versus it's linked into another program called In Her Boots, which is for active duty service members. So I think eventually that would tie in, but that would be me hiring other people to do that, because I'm not the one. But I was thinking about compelling offer, you know, you order so much, you get a gift certificate or something, you know. But
what about, for example, Lisa, you know, like, this sounds silly in a way, but you know, let's say, you know, when you go and get your nails done or your hair done or whatever, you get a rewards voucher. So if you purchase 5 items, you get the 6th one for free, right? Something like that. Or you get a surprise gift. Or what about a membership, right? That you, by purchasing to the value of X, you get $100 off the next thing that you spend. Or join my membership community. Now, we had something, I know it's not exactly the same as yours, but it was like a thing for ladies. It's like a monthly box that you get gifts in, and they pay a membership fee every month, and then they get surprise gifts in it. You could combine different things. But
yeah,
remember,
I'm actually part of an organization that's doing that. I guess because I'm trying to take the jewelry to market into the stores. And
oh, you muted yourself.
Yourself, Lisa.
Okay. So I lost the last sentence. I'm sorry.
Oh, so I don't want to be the one tied down doing that. I'd rather, you know, delegate and make sure it's all going out, because I can't be that person who does that, you know. because I
But
know
this is
who
the
I am.
other thing, right? This is the other aspect, is if you're going to run a specific promotion plan and you want to generate X amount of revenue, and there's a point in time, guys, and this is where it is, how am I going to scale my business? What are the steps that I need to do to take my business to the next level? So whatever this point, if you're stopping and thinking, oh my word, I can't offer a compelling offer because I can't do that, there's a problem in itself.
No, I
Your
have a
promo plan,
compelling offer. That it's just not one of building a community like that.
that's fine. So you decide what your compelling offer is. This is just examples that we're going through. But what I'm trying to say to you is that at any point in time, if there's something that's stopping you, then it's generally something where you need team to help you. And the team is where you scale your business. So think about that and think about what the next steps are, because maybe your promo plan should incorporate something about scaling and something that's going to create something that's more scalable than it's just you and your business. Does it make sense? Yeah?
Yeah, we're tracking on that.
All right, awesome. Okay, so does anybody else want to add something in here before I move? Christine, are you comfortable? You've got a nice thought of what your compelling offer is?
Me? Yes.
Oh.
So my compelling offer is always that our clients not only get a great product, but they also get a team member for their business, right? I become their web person, their graphic designer, and their marketing expert. So somebody that they can come back over and over and over so that they can concentrate on their business.
Sure. Okay, so just remember, Christy, when we're doing this, right? Yes, you automatically, by purchasing X, you're getting this. Maybe it would be also a voucher to spend on the program in the next quarter. Do you know what I mean? So put in a voucher for, let's say, $100 or $200 to spend on one of your other programs. Yeah? Think about that. Compelling offer is what's making it different. Now, even you just having a person, it makes a difference, but it's not enough. You need to add some more in there. So whether it be community or downloads or regular inputs or vouchers for my next program, or, you know, like your restaurant, for example, Jonathan, you come 5 times and the 6th time you get 50% off. It doesn't matter. Put something in that's more compelling than somebody else. And It's not only team, because that's not necessarily solving the customer's problem. Keep that in mind. So
Well,
Christine.
Yeah, I was thinking it's not just that it's a compelling offer, but it's making it a concrete offer. For example, I combine marketing with networking. So it's probably looks more valuable if I were to say, you know, you get a free networking consultation, right? Valued at, right? So if it becomes something official and they know they get one appointment with me for an hour and they get free networking advice for an hour, is pretty awesome. As opposed to, you know, reach out anytime, just kind of, it makes it
make
official.
it more defined. Yes, exactly. So I would make it a 45-minute deep dive into your you know, into your networking. And what I would possibly do is also say, I'll give you the ability for, if you join my community, you're able to network effectively within my community. You can get almost like an opportunity knocks or an opportunity connector or something that you can connect with somebody within my community. I will facilitate those connections. Yeah, so something like that. Or, you know, something where, you know, once a month I highlight my top speakers, and if you join my community, this is what you get. Yeah, similar. So exactly as you're saying. Vincent, is there anything you, oh, sorry.
I just wanted to chime in again. You know, I love the fact that you keep saying community, because so many people get caught up in the promotions of, oh, this discount or that much off, or, you know, what you're saying, the cumulative, buy this and you get that. But something like for example, Jonathan's, you know, some of the Mexican restaurants that I go to because of the culture, because of they remind me of some of the places that I've been to in Mexico, some of the places that, you know, the little mom and pop places that have been, you know, something like, for whatever reason, you know, if you grow up in a typical Mexican family and you actually grow up celebrating all the different the different things that happen, they're nothing to us. You know, it's like, okay, whatever, you know, it's just a typical day, like Dia de los Muertos. but for whatever
Yeah, I had a random thought. I was like,
whatever reason-
come in your fifth visit, you get a free tequila and a Mexican hat. I'm joking. But
that
seriously,
actually sounds pretty cool. But for whatever reason, the people who didn't grow up that way love that day. But
Oh,
yet
yeah.
hardly anybody ever does anything for it. So
exactly.
like being
Bring
able
in
to
a face painter or something, like
Exactly.
somebody comes in and does the face painting on this particular day for this particular thing. Get into the vibe, get into the thing. Join our kids club. Yeah, same vibe, like
So
same thing.
Domingo, to that point, and I don't want to derail because I know we're staying on time, but to that point, like Cinco de Mayo is a big event for us. It's the day we do like 3x sales on Cinco de Mayo. And you ask, and I've done this before where I've interviewed people that have come into the restaurant and we recorded it or whatever and said, what is today we're celebrating? Oh, it's Mexican Independence Day. And that's not at all what it's, but they love Cinco de Mayo.
It's just a day to party hard. That's it.
To Domingo's point, it's like if you can tap into the emotion of like people, I think it just highlights how much people love Latin American
Exactly.
culture. And yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I would have La Posadas, which is coming up, tied
Yep.
in with tamales, man. I mean, just
Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it and try and say take it offline, yeah, because we're short on time. But Vincent, was there anything you wanted to add in, or anything you had a question on?
I like that the about what's your compelling offer, because I believe that we all have so many different things that we offer, and we try to throw it in all at once. We have A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, but we're not focusing on the one thing that absolutely brings everybody together. Like our chamber, we say we have networking, we have virtual this, virtual that. But the main thing that we want to get across, our compelling offer, is we want to put you completely together, yourself inside and out, as well as your business. So I think, focusing on that compelling offer.
Exactly. But focus on it and put something tangible down. So maybe by joining this, you get an extra month's free membership. Do you see what I'm saying? Something
Right.
like that also. So guys, you have to give, even though there's intangible stuff in your compelling offer, you also have to put tangible stuff down that people can actually take home and go, oh, this is so cool. Yeah.
Well, we actually give them our logo that Christy put together. We're giving them our logo to throw on their website. So there you go, Christy. You're all over the place.
All right, you guys. So I know we've got a few slides and I'm going to whiz through them. Thank you for being patient with me. I will probably try and be another 5 minutes. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So I just wanted to cover this. And this is something that's super important. It's the Wealth Dynamics Square, and it's one of the bases that I use. It's a business development tool. And what it does is it specifically helps you identify the people you need to have around you in order for you to grow your business. Yeah. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. Maybe one day you'll bring me back and we can have a conversation around this. But the point about it is it's about what your strongest energy frame is and where you sit best. Because if you're trying to do everything, you cannot be everything to everyone. And that's a challenge in your business. So as soon as you get to the question of, oh, I can't do all of this stuff, who do I need to have around me? Either you need to hire somebody, or you need to contract somebody out, or you need to bring someone in. So if you are interested in actually checking this out, touch base with Christy. She can give you a link to do an assessment on this, and you can figure out where you sit. But ultimately, it's a 1, 2, 3 situation. So if you, for example, Christy is a creator, she's a 1, it would be 1 over here, 2, she would need a supporter, and 3, she would need an accumulator. So what this means is that she's the innovative person at the top who comes up with the ideas and the strategy and the starting point of everything. The supporter is somebody who leads and manages the teams and who deals with customers and who networks effectively. And the accumulator is somebody who project manages the data and numbers, and sorts out getting everything like exact, like organized. Yeah.
And
so in a nutshell,
yeah. And Christine is my supporter and Jonathan is my accumulator.
Thank goodness, right? Right? So
Yes.
guys, this is where it's super important, if you've got the right team around you, that you can actually work to grow your team, and you can actually then, every aspect of the square is covered. And when you're then working on your promotion plan, it's about who's the project lead, who's responsible for the marketing, who's responsible for the administration, who's responsible for mentoring people, who's etc. And each of your businesses have got different components, but you cannot be everything and do everything in a promotion. I hope that came across like not too harsh, but guys, that's serious. You can't be everything to everyone. Yeah. What I've done here in the last couple of slides is there's got to be a route to market. Like, where am I going to get these customers coming from for my particular plan? So generally, I wouldn't recommend having more than 4 to 5 routes to market. So it's existing clients, referrals, social media, or partners, for example. And then how do you funnel them into relevant products or services? So put some time together. Maybe we go into a bit more detail on this another day, but it's really about, where are my customers coming from? Is it social media? Is it just word of mouth? Is it people who are coming in and they get referrals? Like, you know, how does it work? Where are you getting your customers from? The extra slides that are here is just information purposes for you guys, and there's a lot of information in it. So if you go through it, it would be quite easy, and I think you would understand what I mean. This is, for example, a media plan with regards to your daily followers, engagement, postings, your weekly, your monthly, that kind of stuff, so you can see your metrics. This is a service plan for your customers. Yeah, what is the journey that's going to go through when somebody comes on as my customer? What's the experience they're going to have? Map it out, put it down. So if I come to Jonathan's restaurant, the first time I come there, I get this amazing warm welcome. I get a free serviette or a little Mexican hat that says, "Hey, welcome to the tribe." I don't know, guys. It's seriously important to map out your customer journey, to know what's going to happen. If you don't have a customer service plan in your current business, this is why you don't get more customers. Yeah. This is tracking your numbers. I track my numbers weekly like this. Like we said, what are the financials? What are your goals? I track it like this. The different product lines, how much revenue is coming in. I know exactly on any given point in time where my money is sitting. You need to know this. If you're going to run a proper business, you need to know where your financials are sitting and how far you are off your targets. So this is an example. This is tracking your followers, community, and prospects. You know, that then eventually converts into customers. How are you getting them? Where are they coming from? How many do I actually get? What's the conversion ratio? So if somebody comes onto my Facebook page, are they actually then going to come into my store, or are they going to purchase something from me? What is the conversion through that process? Right, so Christy can probably go through a little bit more detail with you guys on another call at some point around this, but tracking this also gives you a very good idea. So in my business, I know that I have, when someone comes and has a conversation with me, it's an 80% conversion rate. You need to know what your conversion rates are, because that will help you measure better. All right, and then this is just some slides here, which is measuring your weekly metrics. So where you're at. And you can see it just gives you some examples on the graphics, and I run it for the 12-week period. And last but not least, this is a slide that gives you weekly action points. You need to only do 3 things a week, and you need to score your achievements. So if I've met something, what is it? I scored it out of 10. 10 means it's perfect and it's done. 1 means I haven't even started it. Yeah, so it's tracking. So everything you're doing, once you've figured out your customer, what their problem is, what the solution is, and what your compelling offer is, how do I tie that all in with an offering that's going to get them excited? So guys, this is then tracking it. Everything you're doing is being measured. Yeah. So not just the money, and not just, hey, these are the type of customers, everything. How many people are coming on my Facebook page? How many people are actually converting? How many people are referring me? Every single aspect of it. But just keep in mind, in a nutshell, 3 things. It's always in a focus of 3. 3-month promotion plan, 3 financials, 3 developmental goals, 3 learning goals, 3 milestones, 3 action points every week. All right. So, questions before we close off?
That was a lot. And this is what she teaches over a 12-week period. She went through it in an hour and 15 minutes.
Sorry, guys, I did try.
No, I take everyone,
Lots
of
of
course.
notes. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Look, there is a lot, you guys. So what I would suggest is if you do want to know more, maybe touch base with Christy and she can, we can talk about if there's something that you guys can come on to have more accountability or something like that. But one of the things that I specifically do in my programs is the reason that I actually go through this with you for 12 weeks is to make sure that you actually doing what you say. And you keep, and it's like an extra perspective in your business that every week there's somebody saying, hey, what's happening? What's going on, so that you actually achieve the results that you do, So what I'd like to suggest is I'm open, definitely. Christy can send you my details if you'd like to have a chat and see how, you need some more help and what your next steps are and what your direction is. You're welcome to connect. Obviously, I'm only going to touch base with you guys next week again, but I'll see you all on Friday for the session that we're having anyway. But what I'd like to finish off with, if we can, in the last few minutes, is just every one of you going through what your biggest takeaway was for today, and what you're actually going to action before Friday. So I'm going to start with Ivan.
You're muted.
There you go.
Yeah, can you repeat that?
Bust, you weren't listening.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from this session, and what are you actually going to implement before Friday?
I think it's taking the grand goal down to the daily goal. We know what we need to make, and I think breaking it down to a daily, especially for someone like me in my studio, maybe even for Jonathan, making it kind of tangible on a bite-sized, daily basis or even weekly basis is very helpful.
Awesome. Christine.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking, was the whole breaking it down. That to me was like, okay, this is my monthly goal. How do we get there? Okay. And putting which promotionals in place, because I've just recently broadened things out a little bit. And so you've got me thinking. I love it, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Absolutely. With greatest of pleasure. Jonathan.
Yeah, so one of the things I'm going to take away, just because I spend a lot of time doing the marketing aspects, is thinking about more granular promotionals and how I really focus on the problem. I think that was my biggest takeaway, was the understanding not necessarily our problem, but their problem, the customer's problem, because when you solve their problems, that's what gets you the business. So I'm going to really focus on that.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Vincent.
One of my biggest takeaways, I believe, was, your target, who you're supposed, who you're going to focus on. I'm guilty of focusing on everyone from every income bracket, every demographic, and I want to lump it all up at once. Breaking it down and focusing on certain groups, every 3 months, that helps not only put me in a great routine, but I get to reach out to each and every group collectively and individually, if you know what I mean.
And then
So
you're growing,
really
you're growing
that.
exponentially, then you're growing, and it's a consistent growth because those people are staying as well, you know what I mean? So
Yes,
it's not just a spray and hoping something sticks. It's actually a consolidated effort for this particular thing, which
Yes,
is
ma'am.
awesome. So great. Domingo, I love the dog. Thanks for changing the picture.
So this is going to sound strange, but
Not at all.
mine is kind of the opposite of Irving's and Christine's. Not about breaking it down, but kind of going a little bit higher into that quarterly process. So what I do is I do a yearly, and then I'll check back monthly just to see what happened in the month.
Mm-hmm.
But I deal day to day. What's going on this day, what's going on here. I might do it on Sunday, just to check what the week's going to happen, and I'm addicted to chaos, so I kind of deal with that problem solving constantly,
Mm-hmm.
constantly trying to solve those problems, and I kind of create the problems myself. If I don't have a problem, that's enough. So I need to do the quarterly in terms of having, because I never do quarterly ever. Other than the tax man, nothing is quarterly.
Well, the quarterly does help keep you focused, you know what I mean? And then the chaos will also become more consistent.
Oh, it's pretty consistent now. Let me tell you.
Well, you can try it, right? Then maybe it will be focused chaos. Who knows? Lisa, I don't know. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm always here. The chart that you threw up, the V times L, I never seen it put like that. I always know about putting the right people in the right place and stuff, but the way, and I wish you had more time to go into that one, but that was pretty unique on how that was laid out. I've never seen it like that.
So we
Yeah,
have
it's a great way to do it. It's really it's one of the best tools in the market, I find, that definitely helps you to grow your team in the right way.
Well, I mean, when you've been in business, for a long time, you know what you need and you identify and you fill
Correct.
spots and stuff. I just never seen it laid out like this and broken
Yeah, no,
down.
it's a great tool. It's a
way.
really great tool. Yeah.
right.
So
And
maybe we
can
do a
offer-
session on that sometime.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can offer a discounted rate on the profile.
Well, I don't need to. I mean, I know what all this is.
No, I know, but this is very particular and very unique, and it's so much more fun than any of those other profile things that are out there. And so what we could do is probably bring in that profile at a discount for members that want to do it, and then Michelle can explain to each individual like where they fall and what are the different aspects of it, because it is well worth the time. And
It is purely
I
accurate.
guess I'm not saying it correctly and everything. I've never seen it like this. I think when you're a leader, you got to know yourself. That's the first and foremost. And that's when I said, when you said membership, I go, I know that's not me. I would have to hire that out because I know who I am and what I'm made of and what I'm capable of and what does not exhaust my energy. I'm just saying that I think that's a unique way of how this was, all the information I know brought together.
For sure. I mean, it's a really great tool. So, Lisa, if you do want to, we can jump on sessions. I think I'll probably do one in the next couple of months anyway. And then you're welcome to come in and listen or something, but we can figure it out. The point is, guys, that you definitely need to know yourself well, and then you definitely know who's going to complement you from a team perspective, because the point is the complementing you. It's not about just hiring somebody who fits into a spot and doesn't actually add value into your business. So I think all of you are at some point where you do need to start thinking about scaling, possibly in Q2 or 3 for next year. And Lisa, you probably need to start thinking about scaling sooner, because there's a lot of things that are not what you want to do, and it's going to drain your energy. So you might need to get a contract or something like that.
Well, just because I haven't put it out here doesn't mean I don't have a plan and there's something already in the
plan. I just, it's a suggestion. I don't know anything, and you probably already have it in place, which is amazing. And, that's the right thing to do. So it's about scaling, and it's about being, where am I and what do I need to do for my next steps? Because if you want to have a successful promotion plan, then that's super important. So I don't want to leave out Mark and Christy. So Mark, we finally see your face. Thank you. What was your biggest takeaway from today? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted.
I'm not that computer savvy. That's why I had Nucci on the call.
No worries. All right. So what was your biggest takeaway from today?
It's you're right on. You need to think in step by step, and that's how you get to the goal line. People I had to run out briefly for a quick meeting. People always want to go right to the top instead of step by step. So and again, my hat's off to Christy and Jonathan, doing a great job with the Dallas Veterans Chamber of Commerce and having these deep dive conferences. And it was very informative. She's been telling me about them, and now I get to see one. And again, my hat's off. And that's why I had Vincent DiNucci on this, because we want to start doing from New York to Dallas, sharing the information with the people who need it and can benefit from it. So, Michelle, good job. I love that accent too.
Glad you like it. And last but not least, Christy.
Well, my biggest takeaway is always just the reinforcement that I get listening to these presentations over and over. And what I got today was that I need to add a compelling offer to what I'm already doing. I'm sure you said it 1,000 times, but I didn't really actually hear it till today.
That's okay.
I was like, oh, that's what
That's
we're
it.
missing, our compelling offer. You know, so that was for me, like I had all the other steps, but the compelling offer, for some reason, I kept thinking, why did I miss that? When did I miss it? You know, and it's just the
Because
way it is.
everything happens for a reason, and everything you get to have stuff and you hear something when it's ready for you to hear it, you know?
Yes.
If you're not ready to hear it and you're not open to hearing it, then that's what it is today as well, right?
Yeah.
You guys do what you want to do anyway. Yeah, no offense. But whatever it is, you guys are going to do what you want to do, right? Whether you follow my advice from today or not is neither here nor there for me, right? All I know is that if you've taken one thing out of it, and the one thing is going to change your business and make it successful, then that's a good thing.
Yes.
You know?
You've
Well, I
shared
think-
so many wisdoms with us, and I think it takes time for it to sink in. And
For
Christy,
sure.
I've heard you say compelling offer. It's not like I haven't heard you say it. I don't think it clicked what it really meant, like hands-on until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been saying it.
She's been saying it. I know. She keeps saying it to me, and I keep saying that's not what I mean.
You have to grab people's attentions right away with that compelling offer, and then the details
Exactly.
follow.
You're right.
Exactly.
And we
I
like
think
to say,
sometimes,
you don't have a deal till the money exchanges hands and clears the bank too. Don't forget that.
That's true.
and
True
I
story,
think
that.
there's so many moving parts that it's kind of hard to do it all right, because I'm also learning, right? I'm also learning the whole entire process, and having to look at it from a large perspective and then focusing down and then stepping back out to make sure that all the pieces are in place and then narrowing down. I think that's an art, and I'm doing it up here.
And I want to just say one thing.
Yes.
I know you're doing up there, but what I want to say is it's the best place where you're learning and earning, right?
Yep.
Guys,
Yeah.
you don't have to be perfect at this. It's about learning and earning. If you're learning and you're not earning, why? If you're earning and you're not learning, why? The balance comes when you're earning and learning at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And it doesn't have to be perfect in every aspect, but it's about being open to learning. It's being open to learning something new and changing the process. So do you guys take a photo at the end of these sessions, or how does it work?
Yeah, we're gonna take a photo here, and then before we go, I posted the 2 links, one for Facebook and one for LinkedIn. If you can please click on the links, leave a statement, a testimonial. Michelle's graphic that I created thanking her for the deep dive should be posted on there. Christine, can you verify that for me, please? And then leave a message on there. And then if you can come and join us Friday for our Friday morning reveille, Michelle is going to be there, and she's going to answer any questions that we might have between now and Friday about this workshop. That's what we're going to do Friday. So you're welcome to come back Friday and just ask questions. It's not going to be like a presentation per se. She's just it's more like a mastermind, answering questions, and then our own testimonials for the rest of the membership that did not show up today, so that they can want to be here.
Come to the next session.
There you
Yes,
Exactly.
so that they can come to the next sessions. So smile, because I'm about to take a picture. Okay, so I
And New
did.
York, and I just want to say one thing real quick. New York has inspired us, Mark and Vincent. You guys have inspired us. So we're working on a little TV type thing as well for our chamber that allows us to kind of showcase some of these past videos to our members. So that's something we're really looking forward to and excited about. So I think
That's
everyone in
great.
the
That's
chamber,
great.
everyone in the chamber would agree with me when I say thank you so much for your time. Michelle, this was great.
Thanks so much for having me, you guys. I hope you had fun and learned something new today. And have an amazing rest of the week. And I will see you on Friday. Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan and Christy, can y'all hang back a